Alright, this is a walkthrough of what I want turned in for the puzzle cube project. Okay, so the first thing we're talking about was making all the different cube combinations in your notebook. Okay, so for that part, you're just going to come up with any of the different cubes you could make. That's not a very good one. Okay, you don't have to shade those. You're just quickly coming up with as many different combos as you could. Okay, that's not even along the same lines. I don't think this thing's going to work too well. Okay, so this one is just in your engineer's notebook where you come up with as many different combos as you could for the different cube combinations.
Are you going to check that?
Okay, next. All right, this is what I want for your thumbnails, the final 10 drawings, okay? So, say I'm going to draw the L-shaped piece. I want to do it at 2 times the scale. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 if it's 3 tall. And then I'm going to draw the top part. Okay? Then we'll come down 1, 2 here. It's going to come out. Okay, so it would connect there, and you can draw in, you can fill in your cubes in between for each one if you like. Okay, or actually, I would prefer that for these. Okay, now you want to make sure for these ones that you are shading. Okay, so I'm going to pick one side like the right, and I'm going to shade it a light color. Okay, and then I'm going to pick another side, so say the top, and I'm going to shade that part darker. Okay, then for each one of these, I'm going to label them. All right, so I'm going to say this is a 4-cube isometric. Okay, if you do all isometric on one, you can do an annotation at the bottom, such as all are isometric, but you still want to show for each one how many cubes it is. Okay. So for this, you'll want to include your name, just as usual, the title, so you can call this one cube combinations, and you're going to date it, and you're going to put your period on there, 6, okay? So you're going to do 5 per page for this one, okay? I want all 3 different kinds for this. So you can do 8 isometric and then just 1 oblique and 1 perspective, or you can do 5 isometric, 4 oblique and 1 perspective, or however many you want to do of the combination. So for your other page, you would need at least 1 where you come down and you do, maybe you do one of those U-shaped pieces, okay? And on this, I don't care if you measure back exactly. If you want to just go back 1 diagonal on these ones for the thumbnails, I don't mind if you do it that way. Put the cubes away. Okay? So again, you'll want to shade these, and you'll want to label them. So this time, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cube oblique. Okay, so again, I'm going to put like cube combos 2. I'm going to date it 6 period and my name. Okay, now additionally, I also want to do a perspective one. So if I do this, I'm just going to do a square so it'll be quick. All right, so I can come down here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, I'm going to connect to my vanishing point. All right, I'm going to gauge my depth is about right here and come down, and then there is going to be my 4-piece one. Okay, and then I would go in and shade that one as well. Okay, all of them need to be shaded. on at least one or on two sides at different shading values, and then I just finish labeling it. Okay? So, for cube, what kind is this one?
1 point.
Good. 1 point. You can even just put perspective. I don't mind. Okay? Next sheet we're going to do, which I'm going to hand out today, is we're going to be designing our cube. Okay? Now, this one is a little bit hard to follow, but once it kind of clicks, it'll make a lot of sense. Okay? So, if I want to base my cube off of, say, this U-shaped one, okay? I'm going to go into this sheet, and I'm going to pick. We'll do this teal color. Okay? And I'm going to put that one on the top. Okay? So I'm going to color this U shape right here. Okay, and that's going to represent that cube that I just made on the other sheet. You don't necessarily have to pick one from that sheet. I'm just using this as an example. Okay? So, when I come over to draw it on the other part of this sheet, this is my top, this is my front, and this is my side view. Okay? So, the correlation between my multi-view, my 3 different views, and this isometric view over here is that this is basically an isometric view that is pulled apart. So it's like your 3 layers are pulled apart. So if this that I'm highlighting right here is my top view, it's going to correspond to this. All right, so when I go and I fill in my top view, okay, I'm going to look from the front like I'm looking down at the top, and I'm going to fill in the U shape from the top view. Okay, this page is really helpful because it helps give you kind of like your blueprint for your puzzle cube. And so what I can do from there is I can go through and kind of start filling in some other things. So on this one, I'm going to make it look like that T-shaped Tetris one on the top. But this time I'm going to make it extend down to right here, now, and maybe even down to right here as well. Okay, so that's going to be 6 pieces. All right. So again, if I go and I look at the top, that's going to fill in the rest of the top on this one. All right. Additionally, I forgot to go back to the turquoise on the front. If I look at the front view, okay, the front view is going to be extending all the way down here. It's like that blown apart view of the front. Okay. And then additionally, the right side view will go over here on the right. Okay, so if I make those correspond, this is the side, and here's the front. So if I finish filling in my turquoise one, on the front view, I'm going to have all 3 of the top ones across that are going to fill in, and on the side, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see these top 2 left ones that fill in. Okay, if I switch back to purple, on the front view, I have no purple ones showing up. And on the right view, I have purple on these 2. Okay, so then I'm just going to go on and I'm going to pick another color, and we're going to start filling this cube in. So maybe on this one, I make a cross on this layer. Okay, and then I extend it down one in the middle as well. Okay? So now from the front view, from the top I don't see anything. My top's already filled out. From the front view, I see 1 yellow one in the middle. And from the side view as well, I see 1 yellow one in the middle. Okay? So now I've got 3 pieces, and I want to remember that I'm only allowed to have 5 on my cube. So now I need to finish filling in the other ones. Alright, so I'm going to pick orange for the next one. And for this next one, I've got a U-shaped piece, but for this one, I'm going to do a U-shaped one, and I'm going to have it stick up in the corner right here. Okay? So, again, I'm going to go to my top view. There's nothing. From the front view, I can see on the middle layer that this right side is filled in, and then 2 of the ones across the bottom are. Okay? From my side view, I see the whole bottom layer is filled in, and I also see that it extends up to this middle row on the left side. And so finally I just fill in my last piece, and I double check that none of my pieces are duplicates, So this one's just going to be an L shape, which I don't have yet, so that'll work out nicely. I look on my front view, fill that in, and then that's my whole multi-view. So this sheet is going to be like my blueprint of how it fits together. All right? Then additionally, I'm going to take each part and I'm going to do a nice annotated sketch of it. Okay? So if I go back again and I concentrate on just my teal U-shaped cube, I'm going to draw that one in a large scale. Okay? So for this one, I'll do, let's say 4. So I'm going to do 4 to 1. Okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. So that's that part. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And so I'm going to start to fill in my large annotated one. Okay? And as you can see here, I didn't leave myself enough room. All right, so you would want to make sure that you don't make that mistake on yours, that you leave yourself enough room. Okay? So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect it across the bottom there. Okay? Those will go back like so. Okay, and if I start to fill in my cubes, you can kind of start to see it take shape. Okay? Now, this is why shading is really important, because especially once I start drawing these lines in, it's kind of hard to see what shape my cube is. So I'm going to fill in my left side or my front side with a light shading. And then I'm going to fill in we'll do the top side with a darker shade. Okay, so that kind of helps represent it three-dimensionally. Okay, so there's my U shape. Okay, now what I want to do additionally is on this one I want to show how it connects. Okay, so on this one I can draw some different annotations on it. Okay, so for example, a couple of them. If I draw an arrow on the bottom, this is front of cube. Okay, if I go back and I look, the purple attaches to the top. So I'm going to draw an arrow to the top. Purple cube. Or I can say to purple cube. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I have all those filled in. So I could even draw one right here to the front face, and this is top of cube. So I'm just going to show how each side connects. Okay, and then I want to title it and put a few annotations. So this is made of 5 3/4-inch cubes, teal in color. Okay? And then there was a couple other examples of things that you can add for the annotations on there. Okay? You could put material is maple. Okay? So just a few different things to annotate it and to give some good details of it. Okay? So you're going to have one for each one of your cubes for this large one. Then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to do a three view or a multi-view of it. Okay? So I'm going to see how well I can do an isometric without the isometric paper. Okay, so that's, not too bad. So there's my isometric view of the cube, or of the U-shaped one. Okay, so if I look at it from the, and I actually did my orientation. That wouldn't be the best orientation for it. So I would want to actually rotate this one around, so let's clear that one off. I'm going to do it this way instead. Okay, so it would come down. I'm doing the same thing again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to come down this way this time. Okay, and it would be something like so. This one's going to be really ugly compared to the other one, but that's okay. You guys get the idea. Okay, so now my front face is this one, all right? So if I look at it from the top view, it's going to go 1, 2, 3 across and 1 down, okay? Now, I'm going to have 2 object lines. I'm going to have one here, and I'm going to have one here. And that shows me these 2 parts that are jutting out on the top, okay? Then I'm going to go to my front view, okay? My front view is going to be the actual U shape. I want these to line up with my top view. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, so that front view is going to be this, the front left side right here, where it's actually going to look like a U shape, okay? All right, and then all right, and then finally, so the top view is too long. That's fine. You get the idea. All right. Then you're going to go in on your side view. Okay. Your side view is just going to be 2 units tall and 1 wide. And what kind of line am I going to have on this one? Hidden. Good. So I'm going to do a hidden line across there. All right. So then what I would do is I would go in and with my ruler, I would do some nice dimensioning lines, and I would dimension this guy. Okay? So you would go through and dimension it, and then maybe even do a couple of annotations at the bottom. And for each of these, I'm not going to forget to fill in my name like I did on the last sheet. And then this one's going to be Multiview teal. Okay, then I'm going to put the date, and then I'm going to put the class period. Okay, so you're going to end up with 5 of these kind, 5 of the annotated, 1 of this page, and then you're going to do 10 total drawings of these thumbnails. Okay, and that's going to be the meat of your project. You're going to do the cube assembly, but once you have all these things done, that's going to be the big part of your project, okay? So hopefully that will clarify what we want turned in for this project in addition to the rubric.